So here we are, down on the allotment. Right, so here we are on the allotment. So if you remember, I said that we took it on in April and it was all covered in black plastic, which we obviously pulled up. Here we've just removed an old trailer that was used for pigeon racing, and it had been stuck there for I don't even know how many years. So with the help of one of the other allotment people, we smashed it up and removed it. So I've just got this to clear now. It's a really good big space, if you can get a gist for the size. So that's where my new polytunnel's going to go, from the fence to where that bench is, pretty much, and then put some beds around it as well, and continue the path, put a path in coming from the chickens and the ducks. So continue the path. On this side we've got some compost bays that we're already in, that I need to do some tidying up on. Oh, this is some bargain compost that I got before Christmas for about 50p a bag. Excellent. The remainder of the wood from the shelves inside the trailer, which I'm sure I can find a good use for, and just waiting to be filled up by me. I got a few, as you can see, it all needs weeding and sorting out. It's very ramshackle. It looked a lot better in summer, obviously, but that's the fruit cage that I'd put in when I first came on the plot. And yeah, it works quite well. It's not the prettiest, but it does work. And we've got an onion bed. That's an onion bed and garlic. This one, again, onion and garlic, and it's got some carrots in there as well still, which I'm surprised that they've survived, to be honest, but they're still growing. This, we've got a few different things growing. Hard to decipher it at the moment, but there's currants in there, there's a blueberry. But again, it's all a work in progress. And the sprout bed that we've had a lot of sprouts from, and we've managed to get some for Christmas dinner. Some of them done really well, excellent, really good. Some of them, as you can see, not so good. Not quite sure what went off there. Then we've got more onions in there, and we've got a grapevine in there as well, which needs moving. And there's spinach and perpetual spinach, which we've had a lot from. That's another little garlic bed. And here's the chickens, the girlies, waiting for me to come feed them. Having a great time in their lovely shed. And that was the sweet corn bed. That was excellent. That was really good last summer. And potatoes, we had potatoes in that one at the back of the fruit cage there, and we had quite a few. We've got, that's an abandoned plot to the back of mine there. Such a shame. I'd love to get my hands on that and use it. trees that I've put in, and all around the trees, that was all one big flower bed under the trees last summer. It was absolutely stunning, and that as well looks a mess now, but last year absolutely full of colour, beautiful. Some planters that I was gifted, waiting for me to find a use for, and the archers. Now in the summer the archers went either side of these beds in the path and had the beans growing up them, and they were brilliant. But being this flimsy affair, they lasted all of about 3 months till the winds hit, and over they went and snapped, as they do at the bottoms. So at the minute I'm wondering if I can fix them, or whether it's a bin job and just get some sturdier archers really. So that's the back view. So now we'll go round the corner to the second half of the plot, past Huey, Dewey and Louie and Lady Lavender. So coming down towards the back of the plot now. And this is the back. So this is where Huey, Dewey, Louie and Lavender come out onto the back when they can free range. And the IBC tank. This is where the chickens come out for their free ranging as well. And then we've got a little bit down towards the outside chicken run there that they use when they're outside and they want to nip in for a cool down or whatever in the summer. And the first of the greenhouses that I inherited, which, like everybody else's, I need to tidy it up and give it a good clean and some repairs. But I did use it a lot last summer. I used it a lot. I mean, I did a lot of good planting and sowing in there. My cute little free that someone was going to throw away years and years ago wheelbarrow that's served me really well for years. And this, right, what can I tell you about this? This looks a really good greenhouse, to be fair. The door locks, it's in better condition than the first one, but it's got what I believe could be asbestos at the bottom, or it could be some other kind of non-toxic board. I have been googling it and trying to find out, but until I'm sure, I'm not touching it. I've boxed around it, as you can see at the bottom, to stop it breaking up in the weather, and I need to do that on the inside as well. Rather than trying to remove it myself, I think I'm just going to box it all in. But as you can see, it's not been used for years. It's a mass jungle of weeds. So I think that is a job for this spring, and I'm not looking forward to it, in all honesty. Scary, scary, scary thought, trying to tackle that. On the front. Then we've got this greenhouse that I did most of my sowing in, with my little potting bench that I made, the staging that I salvaged from an empty plot, my Charles Dowding calendar from last year, a bit weather battered there, and that's where I do my potting up and my sowing. And then we come to another inherited shed, which is the more watertight and sturdy of the two. Now the plan is, because the one over there, which I originally used as my sitting area for a cuppa and everything, as you can see, it's seen better days. It's rickety and the weather's getting into it, so I'm swapping over. This one's going to get painted up inside, and I'm going to move everything over, and that's going to be the new place to be on the lottie. Few things that were just here when I moved in. That one looks like staging actually, which I've never really noticed. So greenhouse, very good. The front of my free chicken coop that I fetched and painted up and fixed up, although the weather's given it a bit of a beating on the roofing felt, but that's an easy fix. And another greenhouse and polytunnel that I've inherited that were already here when I moved in. That was the duck's pond during summer, and they absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a disaster. There was a chimney pot left on the plot when I moved in, and I tried to move it the other day and I dropped it. So now I'm going to throw away the broken bits, and the main body of it I'm going to bury and put some grass seed over the top as a little chicken tunnel. Just a bit of fun for them, and it's, you know, solves the problem of what to do with it. Then we've got this old metal trunk that got left, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it, to be honest, but I'm sure I'll find a use for it. Put some pots in it and, you know, bits and bobs that I can store in there. Behind the shed is another dumping ground area from the previous people that I've got to tackle, but yeah, quite useful bins there if they're not too rusty, and a good space. I think if I take this fence out, I could maybe make this little space at the back to put wood and maybe some tools and things in a pallet storage thing on the back there. So yeah, it's a useful space. It's just I've really got to pitch in, because last summer we got here, we just wanted to plant and grow, and it was all about, you know, making beds and sowing and just everyday normal allotment things, watering. So none of the big maintenance got done. I left that for this spring, which is going to keep me really busy, as you can see through the gap. Absolute waste of an allotment. Such a lot of potential, but there you go. And I have, while the chickens have been in flock down, tried to chuck some grass seed down for them, so that when they do come out, they've got some grass to scratch away at. The other shed, which I'm going to fix up once I've moved everything out into the other one, I can fix it up and get some storage on the sides of the walls and things and use for tools. This was a little herb bed that I created in the summer for the chickens to peck at. We've got some lovely sleepers there as well that were here when I came. So what I want to do is I want to put a window in on that side so I can look out if I'm in the shed, and then this bit here I want to create sort of a little garden sitting area to have a cuppa in summer, get it grassed and fenced off with some picket fencing and a gate in it, put a little table and chairs on there so I've got somewhere to sunbathe on a allotment break. So that'd be lovely. And the other greenhouse, now this I've been told is 2 greenhouses moshed together, and it warped when they did it, which I can see that, and it needs a lot of repair. I've put a new window in already. A friend came and helped me out with the missing window, and a couple on that one as well. Another little area for water butts and things here, and I've had to do this because the door opens if it's windy, so I've just propped it. A couple of little free tables that I was going to use for standing pots on that I got on a car boot. Now this, I'm not quite sure what to do with, because I was growing cabbages and broccoli in here. But the chickens got in and pecked it to death and ate it. So, I mean, some of them, I left the stalks in, and some of them, as you can see, are really trying to come back. So I don't know whether or not to leave them in, give them a fighting chance, or just give it up for a bad job and rip it out. As you can see, I need to do some roof repairs. We've got rain getting in because there's big gaps. And then we've got the polytunnel, which joins straight on. Here, there's another door, but we don't use that. That's where we had the tomatoes in summer, which were a roaring success, and the cucumbers. And at the moment I've got a little garlic bed in there, and it's just normal garlic, some soft neck garlic in that one. But I did plant some elephant garlic, but I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see, tiny little sprouts coming up. We'll see if that comes to anything or not. I think my summer hanging basket's seen better days. I think that's a start and stop again. Oh, that's the grapevine that was growing in summer. Obviously it's dormant now, or it's dead, I can't tell which, but hopefully it's dormant. Lovely sunset starting there over the polytunnel next door. Beautiful. Such a nice allotment site. So relaxing, and it backs onto some woods as well, so we get so much wildlife. Birds of prey and foxes. The ducks. And my little Lavender Pekin that thinks she's a duck and lives with the ducks. Hi Lavender. Hi Huey, Dewey and Louie. Hi guys. Hi Lavender. Hey baby. And this is my favourite little chicken, Lady Lavender, who's a Lavender Pekin, and she's, ooh, what are you Lavender? About 9 months old now, and she is just the sweetest girl. She is so sweet and loving and affectionate, and you like to chat, don't you Lavie? Yeah. And Huey, Dewey and Louie. Hi guys. Which, funny story, when we went to fetch them, I asked for 3 girls. Travelled miles and miles to fetch them somewhere in Lincolnshire, and bought them up from little yellow chickies. And then all of a sudden, one day, I noticed they'd got curls, all of them, on the tail feathers, which means they're actually boys. So instead of being Daphne and Eloise and Little Peep, they became Huey, Dewey and Louie. I know, Lovey. So this is the size of the accommodation. As you can see, it's pretty big. We've got windows in which are scribbled on so Lavender doesn't fly into them. And Lavie's perch. It's absolutely massive, to be fair. That's the ducks. Hi Olive. So we've got Phoebe and Olive there trying to get in. Grey one's Bluebell, the black one's Betty. And we've got Beatrice coming to look. Hi girls. Belinda. We've got Belinda as well. Hi Belinda. In the chicken coop. So we've got a food station. Water's in the veranda because they splash it everywhere. There's actually a sliding door that I can pull across if I need to separate them for any reason, which we did when we got Lavender at the beginning of summer, because unfortunately they all picked on her and she decided to hang out with the ducks, to the point where she refused to sleep in the chicken shed and sleeps in the duck shed with the ducks. Little hanging pecky doodah. to entertain them, which I don't think they ever really bother with that much. Oh, Belinda, hi Bee. And the nesting box, which, as you can see, they've left me some treats. Thanks, girls. Absolutely brilliant. And one from Phoebe. A white Phoebe egg. We don't get many of those at the minute, so it's always exciting when we do. So thank you, girlies. It's very kind. Olive there. Hi, girls. Hey, girlies. Hi, babies. Right, so while I'm here, I might as well crack on with a little bit of shed painting before we lose the light. So I'll just crack on. This is going to take quite some time. I'll come back. So that's the roof, and from a very paint speckled Kelly down on the old Lottie, I'm going to go home and get a shower. Thank you for watching.